today there is one section with 4 presenters, and because now it's possible for replacement, and I asked colleague Adnan Tufekčić to present the paper from Friday.
We connect the first and the second section and the discussion together. Historical-Pedagogical overview of development of school system and education in the SREBRENIK area in northeast Bosnia. Okay.
Good afternoon. Dobar dan. So, I will present some results of my research, which have been obtained through repeated and extended earlier research on the development of the school system and education in the Srebrenik area in northeast Bosnia. During this research, we used basic historical-pedagogical methodology, and additionally, microhistory as a method has been used. Accordingly, the analysis of the historical and pedagogical documentation related to the issues of the research and also the method of qualitative field research with the intensive and in-depth interviews being used. Srebrenik is a municipality located in the northeastern part of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the name Srebrenik was first mentioned in 1333 in the Charter of Bosnian Ban Stjepan II Kotromanić. The Bosnian Ban Stjepan II Kotromanić one time dwelt in Srebrenik, where he wrote the charter to the people of Dubrovnik. You can see in this charter this way. It is assumed that the medieval town Srebrenik, popularly today known under the name Gradina, it is a folk name for the old town Srebrenik, Gradina, was built in the mid-13th century during the struggle of the church against the heretics in this area. You can see some very important years and phases in the history of the Srebrenik on display. Due to the limited time, I will not speak about these details about Srebrenik through history. The development of education and the school system in the area of Srebrenik can be divided into several stages. The first stage is the development of education during the Ottoman rule. The second stage is education during the Austro-Hungarian rule, and after that is period of Kingdom of Yugoslavia, and after that the period of after the Second World War in Slovenia. In the first decade, during the Ottoman rule, there are no sufficient data of material sources on the status of education in Srebrenik during the Ottoman period. The opening of religious schools followed the arrival of the Ottomans. The most numerous were mektebs. Mekteb is the Arabic word, and also Turkish word, denotes in school in general sense, and is derived from the Arabic word katab, that means to write. The first settlements below the fortress Čalikani were established after the Ottomans conquered the medieval town Srebrenik in 1512. The first mosque with a mekteb was erected in Čolik in 1567. Mekteb existed thanks to people who endowed parts of their property for their work. In the then existing settlements in Srebrenik mostly existed Sibian mektebs. Sibian mektebs also the Turkish name for the specific kind of the school, and it means children's schools or schools for the children in early age. Maybe for the children until 4 plus. That the rich people supported through endowments or wakufs. Wakufs in also refers and it means endowments. There were 4 Syrian mektebs in Serbia before the arrival of the Austro-Hungarians. The Latin or Cyrillic scripts were not used in Syrian mektebs, but reformed and for Bosnian language customized script, the so-called Arabica, which was used for the first textbook in the mother tongue. You can see some textbook for the Syrian mektebs, which were written in the Arabica. Arabica is special script, very special script, because as you can see, the letters are Arabic, but the words and language is Bosnian. Apart from mektebs, there were no other schools of higher rank like medresas in the area of Srebrenik during the Ottoman period. The Austro-Hungarians inherited the forms of training from the Ottoman period. The first school during the Austro-Hungarian rule in the area of Srebrenik was built after the adoption of certain specific guidelines for the construction of school building. It was built between the villages Jasenica, Zagreb, Tufekčić and Straža near the old Orthodox Church and started its operation in 1902 and 1903. The land for construction of the church was donated by Bakir Bey Kuzlić, on whose former property was built the school. The main reason why the school was built in the courtyard of the Orthodox Church is the fact that this location met all the necessary requirements from the then regulations that were related to the fact that the school should be away from villages from which the children attend school up to 4 kilometers. In this case, the school was located almost equidistant from the nearest village. In addition, on that location, there was enough space for the school garden, because the school was obliged to provide the land for practical work in agriculture. Also, there were the conditions for the construction of school water supply. The school had 1 classroom and 1 apartment for teachers. The incomplete written sources and documents on the work of the school in the Austro-Hungarian period, there is not enough data. The school, in a sense, worked according to the following curriculum. These are the main subject in this school, this subject there were in 4 classes of the school. In this period of all mekteb or otherwise mekteb's form of literacy was still very present. In this period of all mektebs, the grand mekteb or veliki mekteb in Bosnia, veliki mekteb or grand mekteb in Slovenia stood out, and it started to work in 1912. The main muallim also the Arabic word and Turkish word and means teacher. The main muallim in Grand Mekteb in Selvena at that time was Tufekčić, and then after General Efendi Fazlić. In the Mekteb, the participants of the first and second classes were liberated until 1932, There was also a domestic school attended by girls and women, where they learned to sew and cook. The domestic school lasted for 3 years. During the Second World War, in this method was located the 38th Division's Partisan Hospital. Next period is period of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. The only school that worked in the Srebrenik area in the early years of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, the above-mentioned school in Jasenica, which continued to work even after the First World War. With the establishment of new government, it was named State Public Primary School in Jasenica, Narodna osnovna škola u Jasenici in Bosnia, and was registered in the Tuzla district. The first teacher in the school in the new period was Ivan Odić. Josefina Matean and Radislav Tufekčić worked in the school after him. Teachers lived in the school apartment right next to the school building. The school was quadrennial and attended by pupils of all 3 religions, Muslims, Orthodox and Catholics. One of the students of the school that we interviewed is Osman Idrišović from Donji Moranci. He completed the 4th grade of the State Public Primary School in Jasenica and owns an original school certificate issued on 28th of June 1935 to prove that you can see that school certificate. According to Osman Idrišović, the following pupils finished the 4th grade together with him in academic 1934 or 35 year. I will not say these names about pupils. Teacher Katarina Đuranović monthly salary during this period in the school in Jasenica was 1,400 dinars. A comparison of the salary is interesting. Namely, according to the then merchants, at that period, a salary of 1,400 dinars worth a pair of cows or a good clothes. In addition, the teacher Đuranović's husband worked as a registrar, and his salary was half of that amount. The teacher's salary is likely to be explained by the fact that the teacher guided himself all 4 grades and at the same time was the manager of the school. Both alphabets, Latin and Cyrillic, were used in the school at all times. What is particularly characteristic for the school is that it possessed numerous and various tools for agriculture and handicraft. In several minutes and yearbooks, the data could be found that the school was praised for its well-developed practical work of pupils in agriculture as well as well-developed manual work, male and female. The pupils themselves took care of the tools. Classes were held in the school in Jasenica after the Second World War until 1949, when it was demolished and the material was used for the construction of elementary school in the center of Jasenica. Other schools during the Kingdom of Yugoslavia in the Srebrenik area appeared in 1929 in Donji Srebrenik, Selna, and Špijanica. The State Public Primary School in Srebrenik was founded in a reconstructed barracks that was built by the Austro-Hungarian authorities in 1887. The adaptation of the barracks resulted in 2 classrooms and 2 apartments for teachers and school teachers. The first generation began to attend the school in 1929. There were a lot of pupils who were too old for school then. According to Nail Jašarić, the first generation pupil, the goal was to literate older pupils and accelerate the manner. Therefore, the older ones were allowed to finish 2 classes of school in a year, and the oldest ones were allowed to finish all 4 classes in a year. I think that in this this connection, we find an interesting data that one of the students of the first generation, Abdullah Sofic from Kuzmovići, was also married when he started the elementary school. The conditions for school work were very good for that time. A full day accommodation was organized, but pupils had to provide their own food. The name of the first and only teacher, Mehmet Ibrahimović, is connected to the beginning of the school. He worked in the school until 1944, when the school, due to teacher's death, ceased to work. Together with him worked also catechist Osman Efendi Jašević until his death in 1940. The teacher and catechist were shot for cooperation with partisans. One of the pupils from the last generation was Izudin Stupanović. He was the pupil of the school until it stopped to work in 1942. The soldiers came to the school in the same year. Stupanović remembers that he, together with other students, cleaned straw from classrooms where the soldiers slept to enable it for renewed operation. The first female students who finished school before the Second World War were Ifeta Mustafić, Sadeka Mujedinović, and Arifa Sultanić. The school in Donji Srebrenik, in addition to educational function, was also a center of cultural events. The teacher Ibrahimović also worked with adults who attended the school after the regular students. In that way, several villagers learned to read and write. The location of the school was good next to the major road Tuzla-Gradačac, with the altitude of 419 meters. The inhabitants of the area still remember that during the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, a certain Dr. Bravo from Gradačac recommended his learned patients to stay in the area of the school due to its favorable altitude, clean air, and loss of greenery. The students planted conifers next to the school building. There are still 4 white pines next to the school building, which were planted by the Austro-Hungarian police officers. The state public school in Selna, also founded in 1929. The building is built of stone. At the ground floor there was one classroom with about 60 square meters surface area and a small office, a wide and long hallway and storage room, and upstairs was a 3-bedroom apartment for the teacher. Older people from Selma say that the leading craftsmen in the construction of the school were some Italians. There was a big and nice well in the courtyard of the school. In a large classroom there were 4 rows of seats for students from 1st to 4th grade. Lectures were given all day. The first teacher in school was Marko Sindelić, but was soon replaced by a teacher Alija Kamber. After him, a teacher was Safet Pašić. For all the time of this stay in Selna, teacher Pašić, together with his wife and sisters, worked on health education of the population. His wife also worked with young women on advancing households, storing food for winter, handicraft, and similar. In addition, teacher Pašić, along with agricultural expert Ibrahim Omečić, raised the then very modern orchard. Also, there are some interesting things related to the school in Selna. Namely, the custom was to organize at the end of every academic year an outing for students and parents in the schoolyard. Then they would bake halva. Halva is special Bosnian sweet, special Bosnian cake, and box on a spit for all pupils and parents and for all people. The public primary school in Špionica, also built in 1929. There is very few archives preserved on this school. The exists data are based on the remembrance of the Milovan Vojčkov Špionica. He remembers very clearly that his father donated a parcel for the construction of the school next to the Tuzla-Vrtačac road near the river Tinja. Today there is a school building converted into an apartment for the teacher. Public primary school in Jasenica, Srebrenik, Selana and Špionica worked according to the curricula that were valid for the wider area of the then state. And significant changes in their work happened in 1925, 1926, 1929 and 1934 when new curricula were adopted as well as new laws on public primary schools. Immediately before the Second World War, there started a construction of two buildings in Srebrenik where Mektepski Daija. Mektepski Daija is also a Arabic name for the primary school, but Mektepski Daija in Donji Srebrenik were not completed. The teacher in Mektepski Daija came from Darul Muallimin. Darul Muallimin is the teacher training college in the Sarajevo during the Austro-Hungarian and Kingdom of Yugoslavia. So the rapid expansion of development of primary education in Srebrenik occurred between 1945 to 1919, and it is a period when the public university, folk university in Srebrenik started the work, and kindergarten also, and it is a period of the modern primary elementary school, which developed in the context of the Yugoslavia rules of the educational system. I apologize because
It's okay, we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.